Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here with Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour Podcast.
Yes, hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 226. Thank you for joining us tonight. Brian, how are you doing?
Well, Chambers, it's been a hell of a week. We talked before, been a busy boy, but you and I had a little matchup, didn't we, in fantasy?
Fuck you and your goddamn 40 points of defense from fucking Dallas because the shit dick Giants couldn't do a goddamn thing.
I almost wanted to call Dan and be like, I'm so sorry.
Unbelievable.
I mean, isn't there one part of you that's kind of laughing because it happened to the Giants?
I mean, there is a slight satisfaction with that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, like I told you, like the sting was kind of taken away because our poor one buddy, Matt.
Oh, my God. He lost by how many points? 3 points?
He put up the second most amount of points for the week in our league with 157-ish points, I believe. And he lost to a guy who put up 160.
Yeah.
Absolute brutality.
Well, he put up the third amount because I put up the second. Mello put up the first.
Mello was first. He got like, didn't he get like cunt hairs more than you?
Did he? Maybe he did. But yeah, no,
Oh my God.
Well, now here's the deal.
Whoa.
I of any year I've ever been invested or not invested, I'm so not invested in fantasy this year. So I just wanted to make sure I beat you. But the thing was,
well, at least you got that, didn't you?
Well, I was like, oh, okay, I'm projected to do good. And then I was like, okay, one of my guys got 0 points. This really sucks. And then I was like, at some point, it was going into Sunday night. Like, I still had a lead on you, but I'm like, fuck, all I have is like my defense and my kicker. What are they going to do? And I check in on one point. I'm like, it says I have 24 points of defense. I was like, oh, well, that will go away. And then I kept checking, and I'm like, now it's 30. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I wasn't watching the game, and I was like, wow. And then my kicker on top of that got like 15 or 16 points.
Sure did.
I do have you know me, every year, I always used to say, for a few years, our fantasy leagues, we didn't do kickers. I put value in kickers because they can definitely make or break a game.
Yep.
At least you didn't have Aaron Rodgers, Jim.
At least. Yeah. I mean, I had Cooper Kupp go down, before the game, and my one wide receiver went down like in the second, but yeah, could always be worse.
Yeah.
I think let's get this out of the way. I think the best meme I saw for that was a third jet has crashed on 9/11, and I was just like, good God.
I gotta say, and I know it's because of you, the shit people posted on 9/11, I'm like, the fuck is wrong with people? Like, it just makes me shake my head, Jim. It just makes me shake my head.
Right. It's the internet. It's how we cope with the horrors of everyday life.
Yeah, cope in a better way. That's all I'm gonna say. But Jim, you know what? The reason I bring that up is because, as my tradition continues, I went to where I think they have the best wings, the Iron Abbey. Got my wings.
Damn good wings.
First pumpkin beers of the season. I got the Elysian pumpkin mix pack, which I've never seen them release before. So it's their Dark of the Moon, the Night Owl, the one I'm drinking now, which is the Elysian Dunkachino, Punkachino is a coffee pumpkin ale.
Dunkachino with Al Pacino?
Damn it.
Jack and Jill. Great movie.
Don't you dare.
It's not.
You probably like, was it Hubie's Halloween too? Don't you son of a bitch.
I thought we talked about Hubie's Halloween.
We sure did. Don't you dare.
Went above expectations, Brian.
Don't you dare. But no, it's, haven't had pumpkin beer in a year, so I enjoyed the shit out of it. That's what I'm enjoying right now. Like I said, this one, for a coffee pumpkin ale, it's obviously dark. I don't get a ton of maybe like a hint of the coffee flavor. I think the pumpkin flavor just completely overpowers it. And this bad boy is a pumpkin ale with attitude of world-weary barista. Punkachino packs a short shot of Stumptown coffee in your pint with just a shake of cinnamon and nutmeg. That is not a goddamn shake, because I was going to say nutmeg and cinnamon is all I taste in this one. It's 6%, and oh, good, it's one that's not expired. So expires in December.
There you go.
What are you drinking tonight, Chambers?
Well, Brian, we didn't even plan this out, but I actually have a pumpkin beer. I think this might be my first craft beer on the podcast in like 4 months, something like that. I couldn't even fucking tell you at this point. But from our good buddies at the good old Southern Tier Brewing Company, the pumpkin, Brian, it's always been a good old standby, always been a good old go-to, almost like a gateway drug for us. I'm trying the caramel pumpkin Imperial Pumpkin Ale. So
I think I tried that last year.
8.6% alcohol. No bullshit written on it. When you pour it out, you smell straight caramel. It's like straight caramel candy. It's like a Werther's Original, like in your nose.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take a sip, and there are about like 14,000 different flavors all clashing at once right now. I can't say it's the most pleasant thing I've ever had. I kind of had more high hopes for it, but let me get another sip in there.
Is it just because it's like too busy? It's actually very clear.
It's extremely clear. Yeah.
That's kind of odd for a pumpkin beer.
Yeah, it's very clear. The head dissipated like almost immediately. There's a lot of head, but it dissipated right away. There's like no lacing to it at all. Not a lot of carbonation.
Is it?
I don't think so. I got it from Acme, so it should be relatively fresh. Let me see now. Best by 7/17/25. So yeah, I'd say this has some time to be
You're good.
fresh. Yeah.
So,
but yeah,
okay.
I mean, it's got a really strong. It's like sugary yet bitter at the same time in the aftertaste, and then on the mouthfeel itself, it's just like 1,000 flavors fighting each other. It's just like a shitload of spice with a shitload of sweet, just like bashing heads right now. And I can't tell yet if I like it or don't. Right now, it's almost like acrid in the aftertaste. It's very weird.
Yeah. I mean, we've said, I do understand why some people might not like some pumpkin beers when it is a spice overload. But when it's done right, like, I don't know who hates it. Unless you're someone who really hates cinnamon, nutmeg, and vanilla. Like, if you hate those flavors, then, yeah, obviously that's not the beer for you. But
this is really bitter in the aftertaste. Like shockingly bitter. I
that's
think
really
like,
weird. Yeah.
I think like the over bitterness of the aftertaste like really clashes with the sweetness at first. So my mouth is just like, well, what's happening here? What are you doing to me?
All of a sudden, Jim's gonna shit himself.
Well, that's a given. But to hear more about me shitting myself, you should check out the Krusty Corner for only $1.
Damn it, Jim. So that flight didn't go your way, did it?
It went exactly the way I planned it, Brian.
Chambers, I gotta say, I'm proud of you because you finally came around and played a game. It's only been weeks.
I think I had like 3 weeks in a row where I didn't touch a single video game.
Yeah, I think you might have said on a few of those weeks you tried your hand at a few Tetrises, but that was it.
Oh yeah, I mean like, and then there were a couple weeks where I didn't even play Tetris. So
yeah,
yes, I played a game. I'm actually gonna plan on talking about it more next week because there's an embargo on it. But Flynn's Arcade, they send a lot of indie games at the show. Like a lot of the Let's Plays I've done over the last few years have been like just codes that they've given me. So I played a game called Century City. Apparently this was kickstarted. I don't know when. I'll have to look up the info on that. But yeah, it's an interesting game. So very heavily inspired by Blade Runner for like the setting. And like I got a little bit of Terminator out of it too. It's like a trial and error side-scrolling shooter platformer. So it's not a run and gun. And it's not like Oddworld. It's like a weird in-between. So it's a shitload of
like
trial and error and a shitload of like you have to be like have fast reflexes for like dodging and shooting. But it's not like super snappy or fast either.
Like a RoboCop or a Judge Dredd?
But that's way more run and gunny though. Because you have like one-hit deaths. It's almost a little bit like gelatinous too. Where like you're going through these like super hard levels where you die a billion times, but like you get a couple checkpoints through each level too.
It seems to be the go-to for a lot of these games now.
Yeah, and every level's time based, so I mean I'm basically giving everything away right now. So I'll give it, and it's one of those ones where I'll give a more formal review during the podcast next week. But Yeah, and it's also one of those ones where this isn't really a spoiler, where you get ranked on your timing for each level. So if you want the real ending, it's one of those ones where you got to perfect all the levels before the last level.
Yeah. No, I get it. Sounds cool.
Apparently, it's only going to be $5 when it releases, and I think it's going to be 20% off the first week it's out. So,
what is it available on? Like,
I played it on Switch. I'll have to look up and see what it's on.
Okay, yeah. Next week, talk more a little bit about it. You didn't beat it yet.
No, I beat it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I got the bad ending, but I beat it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm deep in Starfield. Like I said,
God's hooks in you, huh?
I actually, the past, I would say 3 or 4 days, I've been too busy with other shit. Like, I haven't. If I've played, it's been at 20 or 30-minute chunks of time each of the days. But so I'm at a point. If you have you read or watched anything on Starfield, like people's reviews or thoughts on it?
It seems mixed. It basically seems like
I'm asking for the reason of everyone says the same thing. They'll say, I'll try to keep it spoiler free, but you have to play through the main story for a very particular reason.
Okay, yeah, I didn't see anything about that yet. Everything I'm seeing is basically, if you like Bethesda games, you'll like it, and if not, you're going to hate it. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty fair. I found the thing that has become the spoiler, which wasn't a spoiler for me because it was in one of the main trailers. So I'm like, I don't know. I guess I'll say spoiler right now. I'm just going to tell you the one part. The thing you need to get to in the main story is the ability to unlock basically space powers. Think of it as your dragon shouts in Skyrim.
Yeah.
But it's space stuff. I'll just say that. I won't go into detail past that. But it makes sense why they say, like, you need to play the main story up to a certain point, because I didn't, like, although I saw it in the trailer, I was like, oh, okay, at some point you can get this. It wasn't even a thought in my head, and then when that unlocked, that was like, oh, so that opened up a whole new avenue. So, yeah, I'm still enjoying the shit out of it. I got no complaints. Anyone that does complain about it, I don't know what you're complaining about. I am seeing people do really stupid shit with it. Like, I love the guy that, like, loaded in 100,000 potatoes on his spacecraft and just wanted to show the physics of the door opening.
Yeah, I've seen 10,000 milk cartons in the middle of space.
Milk cartons, which is like, I think they're trying to do that to show, like, the physics and show how impressive that is. But I'm like, even with console commands, I'm like, that still had to take you a little bit of time to do that.
That'd be a pain in the dick to do.
But yeah, like I said, I'm really, really enjoying it, and I still strongly suggest you dip your toes in that, Jim. You know you might not hit 23 games, so you might as well dive into a game, and you know you always like Bethesda games, and you like spaceship shit. So
I do.
I feel like I know you're not going to go back for a while, even though I still think you should do Fallout 4. Like, Starfield, I feel like is right up your alley, especially when you get into the space fighting and designing.
I hear it's like the best the combat's ever been in their games.
Oh, Fallout 4 was such a big improvement. Now, the only thing you will miss from a Bethesda game is VATS, but it feels like a quicker paced Call of Duty, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And I know that doesn't make sense. What I mean is, like, the snappiness of like the aiming and stuff is like you need to really control where your guy goes. There's no auto lock on the people, so expect a lot of missing bullets. But like the spaceship building and customization, like people built the Star Fox fleet and F-Zero and Star Wars shit. Like, you can do a lot of stuff with that, and I know you enjoy those dogfights in space. So yeah, there's a lot of that if you like doing shit like that. So yeah, I would highly, highly recommend it.
Ah, cool. All right. No, I mean, I do have my interest. My interest is peaked, so I'll eventually have to get around to that.
Yeah. Huh? I mean, it's free for you. It's on Game Pass, so
I wonder how it runs on the original Xbox One. That's what I'm a little worried about.
I keep forgetting you don't have the new Xbox.
Yeah, I might not even be able to do it.
Yeah, I don't know if it does run.
I'm going to doubt that.
Well, go get a new Xbox, Jim. God, stop.
All right, Brad, give me $300.
Just do it. Sell some of your collection.
Fuck that. I'm just going to be the Patreon.
Damn it, Jim. Speaking of
go to the show.
gamers-
Hey, right. Go to the show because then I can talk about more up-to-date games.
Speaking of Chambers, what questions do we have from our awesome patrons, which I will not let you leech off of to get your goddamn game system that you will ignore.
Oh, I will. Patreon.com/DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, where for as little as $2 measly a month, you can ask a question that we will answer on each and every single one of these Power Hour podcasts. First up from Alex Perez. Hey, Jim. So I just realized the physical release of Tetris 99 here in North America was on September 6th, 2019. I was just wondering what you got your daddy for its 4th birthday. I treated it worse than my regular daddy by completely ignoring it and forgetting it exists. I needed to do something else. I do want to go back to it eventually. I'd like to beat some other games first just to be like... Or maybe I can just get a bunch of quick games out of the way, get to 23, and then spend the rest of my fucking year trying to beat Tetris. Right, the Switch says I've put 45 hours in so far.
Wow, 45 hours? How many games are you up to?
I mean, it's easily over 500. I'm going to have to check that. Because there's a difference between, like, the Switch, like, home screen, how many hours, and, you know, how many actual games hours I've played. But, yeah, just for being in the game itself and, you know, sitting through loading screens and shit. 45 hours of my life down the drain, Brian.
Holy
Almost 2 full goddamn days of my life. Burned with disappointment and rage.
I mean, that is a lot of out. I mean...
Yeah!
That's old school, like, putting in COD hours.
Yeah!
Wow.
For fucking Tetris 99 that I can't get one winning.
I mean, Jim, statistically, you're proving to become an anomaly right here. I feel like...
Always has to be an anomaly. Always has to be an outlier, doesn't there, Brian?
Oh, my God. This is your white whale. This truly is. I mean, this is...
And much like Ahab, I'm going to go down fucking trying to get it. It's going to ruin me. It's already ruining me. It's going to make it worse.
Oh, man. Like, at this point now, it's like, there's no way beating it. You know what? Beating it at this point, Jim, might
it's
even
just
be...
It's just relief. It's not going to be happy. It's just going to be relief.
It'll be complete cathartic for you because you will just be like, it's done. I can walk away from it. I'm sure you'll probably uninstall it right then and there.
I might have to take a video of me uninstalling it after I get it. That'll be the catharsis, is uninstalling it and never looking at it again.
But see, I also feel like I know you, and I feel like you'll get the win, and there'll be a PC that'll go, maybe I'm on a hot streak.
Maybe I can do it again.
Exactly.
Well, now I got to get that Tetris Maximus, wherever the fuck that mode is, once you get the one win.
Good luck, Jim.
Yeah, I'm going to need it.
Start taking it to the shitter. God, it's what the Switch is built for.
Next up from Gamer Astral. I might have asked this already, but favorite Super NES game? Been spending some time with mine, and I was curious.
I have two, and they're tied. I've said it, I think, every time this is asked, but Super Castlevania 4 and Contra 3 Alien Wars. I mean, from nostalgia from when I was a kid to games that I feel like they still hold up 1,000%. It's my favorite Castlevania game, and probably my favorite shooter. So, yeah, those games don't miss with the soundtrack, the look, and they still hold up, and anyone can pick them up and play them. So, if you haven't played those, you're fucking insane.
Yeah. I mean, mine's probably Turtles in Time. I think the game, weirdly, that I've put the most time into in the last couple years has been Jackie Crush, but I would say Turtles in Time is probably the favorite. Love me some Jackie Crush, Brian.
That's why you can't win a Tetris, Jim.
That's why I can't win in a lot of things, Brian.
Fucking Jackie Crush. See, I thought you would maybe have changed it now to
Jackie Crush.
Super Mario World.
I like Mario World, but I haven't touched it since I beat it.
Didn't you beat it this year?
Yes.
That's what I mean. I thought it would be fresh in your head.
Yeah, I mean, I
guess
liked
it didn't leave
but...
that much of an impression.
Yeah, I mean, like, I liked it a lot. That hidden forest annoyed the shit out of me trying to get the hell out of that goddamn thing. That level was bullshit.
Did you beat Super Metroid?
Oh, I beat that years ago. Super Metroid's up there. I really enjoyed it. I would probably like Super Metroid more if it wasn't for the forced wall jumping segments, which were fucking horrific. Like, they just never seemed to work right. They took me so goddamn long. And it's only like 2 sections. But it was just like, man, fuck these sections. And for whatever reason, like the sky jumping, I can never like really nail down in that. Like all the other ones, it's easy as shit, but there's just, I don't know. Maybe I was being stupid that day during my playthrough. I don't know what happened. But I could never get it to like really work as well as I wanted it to.
The Super NES is
I have control issues with Super Metroid.
I have, like, for a system that I grew up with, and that was mine, like, where my brother had Genesis, it's funny how much I haven't played on that system. And I'm talking classics, too. Like, I never played Mario RPG.
I still need to play that, too.
Any really Western RPG. I've started Chrono Trigger, like, 3 times, and I'm like, all right, okay. I just don't like that style of game. But like, it's one of those systems I always go, let me go back and play, but I just never stick to going back and playing. It's a shame because I know they have some amazing games for it.
Yeah, like I don't have the nostalgia for it, so it's a lot of stuff that I'll be like, oh, I want to try this, and I go out and buy it, and then I'll maybe play through it or just play it a while and shit like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, it's also like hitting at that time. Like, again, I don't like JRPGs either, so that cuts out so much of the library that people beat off to. And then, like, I don't know, like, it's me and my weird taste. Like, I'll play Super or less more than I'll pop in, like, Contra or some shit like that, so. That's where my interest is, Bri.
I know, Jim.
Right, you got to enjoy Kid Wobutoad and G Gundam with me. You're so happy about that.
Terrible goddamn game.
The views on that review also. Yeah, fucking. Whatever. I'm actually in a good mood tonight, but I still can't talk, so I'm just broken. Don't mind me.
You're like Amy Lee.
Am I going under?
Could be. Well, you said you were broken. I could be your seether. Jim!
To be 2003 again. So full of life. So full of hope.
How much would you warn old Jimmy Wimmy?
I would warn him. There's so many things.
How much would old Jimmy Wimmy retain?
Probably none of it. Old Jimmy Wimmy would probably make the same mistakes.
Shut up, future Jim. That's your problem, it's not mine.
Yeah, that's your problem, stupid. That's future Jim's problem. I'm just sitting there like Gilbert Gottfried on Hollywood Squares. You fool!
Damn it, Jim. No, but good question. I mean, yeah, like Super NES, I think you can't go wrong with a lot of genres of gaming, but yeah, the classics are a classic for a reason. I will also say that.
Yeah, true. I mean, we've said 1,000 times in these stupid discussions about the better console. It's like the Super NES definitely has like the better all-timers on there.
Yeah. Good question, though. Thank you, bud.
Next up from TJ. If Yo and myself were abducted by predators for them to hunt us on a preserve of their own, who would die first and who'd ultimately beat the predators and escape? Follow-up. Why is Jim the white Danny Glover? I am too old for a lot of shit, Brian.
You are.
He's not wrong.
Jim, I'm going to let you answer this one first.
We know I'm dying first. We know it. We all fucking know it. I'm not handy. I'm not clever. I'm not smart on my feet. Dead. I might even walk out in the field and just be like, just fucking get it over with. Make it quick. No, in my luck, that fucking prick predator would be one of those ones where he likes to torture them a little bit first before they kill.
Oh, what if he's a predator? He's like, now you gotta squeal like a piggy.
Well, at least I get some fun out of it before it goes down.
Damn it, Jim. God damn it.
Right, do you think his weenus has the same little mouth, like another weenus that comes out of it? Where maybe the head opens up like their mandibles and goes blah, 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 blah.
I feel like...
Maybe that's their foreskin. Because God knows they're not cut.
God damn it, Jim.
They're not the chosen people, Brian.
You're also assuming they have a peen like ours.
Brian.
Have you seen the latest alien that Mexico revealed? They don't even got peens, Jim.
I can't believe we've had aliens this whole time.
Yeah. Doesn't look like paper mache at all.
No, it's perfect. I was like, oh, this is a sandcastle.
What I love most about that as a little side tangent, and then the shit coming from Siberia is showing like the similar. Let's throw our they showed a video of like a similar, like almost similar exact looking, like it's like also in Siberia. Let's throw away our tinfoil hats and let's say, what if that was real? The fact that nobody gives a shit is actually more hilarious than, you know, the real probability of it's fake, it's whatever. Let's just say it's real. Like, they're at a point now where, like, nobody will trust them anyway, so what's the harm? Like, if our government came out tomorrow and be like, no, it's absolutely real, I bet if you polled it, no one believes them. It's like, no, we're telling you, this is real. Everyone would be like, I don't give a shit.
Luckily, we've been burned so many times that if they came out and said, no, this is real, we'd be like, all right, what are you covering up? What the fuck are you hiding this time?
Well, yeah, exactly. So,
what goddamn law are you going to pass that's going to fuck us in the ass, or you're just going to have us arguing about aliens again for?
But I feel like if me and TJ were on an island, I feel like me and TJ would keep trying to keep you alive. Like, God damn it, Jim, do something. I feel like that's what 90% of the time would be spent on.
Brian, let's be real here. I don't think there'd be a lot of time spent trying to keep me alive either. There'd be like maybe like a couple hours, and then you just both go, fuck this.
Jim, I think you underestimate our empathy. So you're the character in the film that, like, the good guys always try to keep alive. You end up trying to backstab us to get us killed, and then it turns around, and then you get killed much worse.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
fuck you guys.
Like we know exactly that's how that plays out.
Right. Either I'm going to be that guy, or I'm going to be like that guy who, like, gets thrown in jail, and he instantly just, like, volunteers himself to be the prison bitch just for survival.
Damn it.
Power bottom for the predator, bro.
That's the thing. I could see you being like, hey, listen, you don't want to kill me. I'm useless. But I know where this guy is. I can lead you right to him. Oh, you would totally try to backstab us. I know that.
No, bro, 40 chess moves. So the predator's going to come out and he's going to find me. But when he finds me, I'm already going to be bent down, spread out, spread eagle. They're like, hey there, sailor boy. And he's just going to look and go, ooh, and just move away. He'll be so disgusted he won't even want to touch me to kill me. That is not a prize, Brian. That is not a prize skull you put on your wall. 40 chest, Brian.
Damn it.
And imagine the smell. God knows there ain't no showers on those reserves.
TJ, it'll be me and you that'll survive. I'll just say that.
Last up from Burn Retinas. Which sports fans are the most fun to laugh at? Either diehard soccer fans or the Dallas Cowboys have always been mine. All right, well, let's get this out of the way. Soccer's not a real sport, so that's automatically out.
Man, soccer, that's such a tough sport to ever defend. And the way they do defend it, like, not saying, like, basketball has some weird things where people
the
take
floppery in basketball is
Yeah.
pretty bad.
But nothing compares to soccer. And just that being a thing in and of itself makes me go, like, you remove any legitimacy, like, altogether. So I'm like, and you know what? I'm just going soccer. As much as even being an Eagles fan, yeah, I hate Cowboys fans, but I would hate them more if they had been winning. It's kind of just funny now that they always think they're going to, and they always end up losing.
No, that makes it funnier.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, it's funny. It's not something that's
You will
annoying to
never
me.
find a fan base that lives more in the past than the fucking Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. But the annoying ass, and it's usually international, or that one fucking kid who wears loafers in America that does like soccer. It's like, did you know it's the most popular sport in the world? I don't give two fucks.
Yes,
It's
the poorest get to kick a ball. Wonderful. Everyone gets to do it.
It's like, yeah. And there's also a reason why you'd never want to have real American football in the Olympics, because y'all would get fucked up forever.
Yeah, it's like when they did basketball and we started letting the pros in there. It's just been domination ever since.
Yeah, exactly.
Boring.
So it's like, soccer fans are the worst. I do have a respect for the deep, legit soccer hooligans and the clubs, like how ride or die they are. I respect that. I feel like that's part of the reason why East Coast, especially like Phillies or like Philadelphia, New York, Boston, I feel like we still have that mentality in our blood of being that diehard for our sports fans.
Yeah, we are those leftover immigrants. So
yeah, so I respect that. But the majority of others, no. I can't respect it. Won't respect it. Soccer fans, laugh at them.
I mean, like, I can respect, like, I mean, their fanaticism is just insane.
Yeah. But they always like look down on other sports, which is where you lose me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, do I respect the athleticism of it? Yeah, you're fucking running for an hour and a half straight. Like, that's a lot of goddamn work. You have to be in incredible shape to do that. It's a skill. But you know what also I like in my sports? Shit that happens. Scoring. Points being put on the board. Oob. Like, I know it's a meme to go, ooh, boy, a tie. But seriously, people, you're happy about ties? Come on. It's not a real sport.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
But I guess if we were going to talk about real sports, obviously Cowboys fans, because fuck them, no one cares. It's been since 1993.
Who do you hate more, Cowboys fans or Yankees fans?
I don't even care about Yankees fans because, one, they're in the American League.
Especially now.
Yeah. And two, they've kind of they just blow money, but they still shit the bed in the playoffs. Like, of course, the last time they won is when they beat the Phillies in 2009. That was a fucking heartbreaker. But yeah, like, I don't even care about the Yankees, like, at all.
Okay.
Like, it's more fun to, like, rile up, like, Houston Astros fans by pointing out, like, their huge cheating scandal and shit like that than it is to talk about the fucking Yankees. Like, fucking, like, Yankees spend a lot of money and they have all the titles. Whatever. Good for you.
No, actually, I think I have an answer here, Jim. Wrestling fans.
Whoo!
They're the worst because...
Yeah, and they're the easiest to rile up, too.
As someone who used to absolutely live and breathe wrestling, the fact that I see it the way it is and still how hardcore and how fundamentally it's the same way someone would argue over an episode of Game of Thrones. Like, you know what you're arguing about is scripted. And the fact that you're talking about these characters as if, like, and it's nothing, I'm not talking about athleticism, I'm talking about outcomes, this and that. Like, guys, what are you doing? And then the tribalism with the fucking AEW's the best, WWE's the best. Like, come on, man. Like, that's the worst. That's the worst.
Then that one mouth breather in the corner who's like, I like Impact. It's like, okay, Timmy, that's all right.
Yeah, so they're the worst. Sorry, wrestling fans. But you know what you are.
Brian, I have to 100% agree with you. They are fun to rile up, though.
Oh, they're
so easy.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I still love that people still get mad, and it makes me laugh and enjoyable when Brock comes in and wins it all. I still love it.
Oh god, it pisses them off so. It pisses
off
the hardcore so much.
I know it does, but you know what? You do need a monster still. You need some believability that these guys are guys that would fuck up anyone in the real world. And I'm sorry, 90% of your roster are dudes that you're like, I could see him just at a club.
Yeah. Wait, I like Will Ospreay. Well, no one cares.
Exactly.
No one turns on the TV for Will Ospreay.
So yeah, wrestling fans, there's your answer.
You know what, Bri? Good answer. Prick. But that wraps up the questions for this week. So once again, thank you to all of the patrons out there, except for the soccer fans. And for anyone who wants to help out the show, wants to ask your own questions or to call us dickbags, head on over to patreon.com, check out the tiers, get your video game review requests, your extra podcast, your bonus episodes, the Krusty Corner bonus segment for every episode of these podcasts, and everything else.
Yep. No, we truly, truly appreciate it, guys. Oh, Chambers. Just when we thought Bud Light was completely dead in the water, their savior has risen, some would say.
I mean, I don't know if it's about saving them, but one guy's banking on them, that's for goddamn sure.
He's doing a gym here. He sees a stock falling, and he says, you know what? I got a spare $100 million sitting around, and who else but Bill Gates is betting on Bud Light. They've had a crazy year that we've talked about more than enough. And if you don't know what's going on with them, please go watch our previous episodes. But essentially,
since April 1st, watch since April. You can hear, because every goddamn week there's been another Bud Light related fucking story. It never ends.
So their stock,
one bottle. They sent one bottle to one person on Instagram, and we haven't stopped talking about it for 5 months.
I mean, you piss off your friend. Once again, what I like about this, Jim, is the same thing I've been begging gamers to do to Nintendo. Show you care with your wallet. And this fan base, right or wrong, they're showing they care with their wallet, and guess what? It's having major repercussions. So
they're doing the right thing, which is fuck Anheuser-Busch for the wrong reasons, but whatever. At the end of the day, AB InBev is taking a hit, so
their stock has been down a total of 7% for the year, and the revenue is continued to just keep plummeting. It's been 10% loss in the second quarter of the year. So they said nationwide U.S. retailers declined by almost 14%, and that they were trying to just get rid of Bud Light or not restock it. But Bill Gates, you know what? Like I said, as you and I said, I think he probably just sees the writing on the wall, which is this is a company that will probably rebound back. So yeah, he'll turn $100 million. He'll buy it now when it's presumably going to be at its lowest.
Buy low, sell high.
Economics
101, Brian.
But what's interesting is he's also put in $1 billion worth of share. He's bought $1 billion worth of shares of Heineken. And in interviews, people were asking him about it. He's like, I'm not even a beer drinker. Like, he doesn't even drink beer. He doesn't like beer. He's just spending his money on shit. Like, I don't know what sparked this. Like, when you have that kind of stupid money, I guess you can do that. But yeah, why beer? Why those two? You can then all of a sudden do the conspiracy theorists. Like I saw on football, Bud Light is man, are they trying to win back?
Oh my God, the commercials.
They are trying hard to win back the football fandom. And guess what? I still don't think it's going to work. As we said, they've fallen a couple notches, and they'll probably stay there for a long time, because who the fuck likes Bud Light that much anymore? You accepted it because it was the cheap, one of the big three. It's got a bad reputation now. Coors, Modelo, all these other brands are popping up more and more. So, Bill Gates, yeah, I'm sure you'll make a couple mil on this deal, or whatever it's going to be.
But yeah, he's already lost 2% of the money he put in since he bought it, because the stock just keeps going down. But like you said, I'm sure eventually it'll probably come back.
Yeah,
but
$100 million to him is, it's so weird to say. It's nothing.
Oh, he wipes his ass with that.
Like if he were to just lose that, he's not even gonna. Oh, okay.
See, Brian, the real reason he did it, as we all know, is he wants to microchip us. So he's going to put little microchips into our beer that are going to latch on and live in our kidneys, and that's how he's going to track us.
Jim, he's clearly just going to offer everyone who gets the next vaccine booster a free Bud Light. Come on.
Ooh, they're going to mix Bud Light into the boosters, Brian.
There you go.
And they'll be double chip.
Damn it. But no, Bud Light. Companies out there, learn your lesson. That's all I'll say. Learn your lesson, Jim.
I mean, at the very least, know your audience, I guess.
Yeah. Stop pandering.
Or if you're going to pander, keep pandering and don't immediately backtrack.
No. Don't be a fence sitter. Just don't pander. Period.
That's what they did. They fence sitted because they pandered and then they backtracked immediately.
Yeah. But did you really think it was going to convert multiple people who already don't support giant corporations and shitty beer to just come over and make up for all the people you're about to lose?
Probably not, but if you're going to go this route, you should probably at least go with it a little more than maybe 2 days before you backtrack and piss off all the people you were trying to bring in too. So now you have nothing.
So, vis-a-vis, don't pander. Think about it. Jim. This one I'm going to need a little help with, because I read through the article and I'm not sure how I feel about this, but Unity, which everyone should know, like I would say the engine used by most game developers.
If you play any games made in the last 5 years at least, when you pop it in and you turn it on, you probably see powered by Unity at some point in the opening credits. Like, this is like the engine that like so many games at this point use, from big to small.
Yeah. I couldn't. I'm sure I would recognize names, but off the top of my head, I can't name another like engine to that caliber that's like, oh yeah, it's the Unity engine or the.
Yeah, I forget the other ones because I don't really delve this much into this, because for the most part, I don't care. I play the end product. I don't care about the development cycle unless it's, troubled, and then it becomes good podcast content.
Yeah.
But, so, like we said, Unity. I'll just say, without looking anything up, probably the biggest or the most widely used one out there. They put out a tweet that ignited all social media, where they rolled out a new price increase plan for people using it. And basically, it was going to be based around one of two things: downloads and runtime. So once they put that in there, everyone went, what the fuck? Especially all the developers out there. So immediately they had to start going out there and backtracking and putting more details out there into the ether to try and settle people down. But I'm reading this and I'm like, man, this still does not sound good. So, details. The new quote-unquote runtime fee announced Tuesday morning is tied to a player's installation of a game, an action that previously didn't cost developers anything. So with Unity's new plan, developers who use Unity's free tier of development services would owe Unity 20 cents per installation once the game hit thresholds of 200,000 downloads and earn 200,000 in revenue. So Brian, if your game makes $200,000, you owe Unity 40 grand. If your game makes $2 million, you owe them $400,000. And so on and so on. So developers paying $2,000 a year for the Unity Pro plan would have to hit higher thresholds for that to be charged, and it'll apparently start in the year 2024. And everyone immediately went, fuck you, no, what the hell are you goddamn doing? And there's like 1,000 reasons why. Because like there's always like humble bundle deals, charity deals, where there's ridiculously insane price cuts to the games. Steam all the time has their Steam sales where you can buy like brand new games for fucking $5. There's Game Pass. So if you download it on Game Pass and you're not paying any extra fee for that, all of a sudden 20 cents for every fucking download is going back to Unity. So you can see how the developers out there just instantly went into panic fuck you mode. So they tried to clear this up a little bit by saying that the big thing that people were, one of the big things was install bombing. So to make sure that, say there's some, fucking dipshit culture war thing around a game, so people aren't just installing, deleting, reinstalling, deleting, reinstalling a game to install bomb it, to just rape them of all their money. So I guess that's a good thing that they're saying, no, it doesn't count that way. But if you installed it, say, to a second device, then they still get their fee from that. Which to me, that's like kind of shitty. Like if you just buy the game and install it, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking there's still some milking going on there. So apparently it also is not charged for the installations of game demos unless the demo is part of a download that includes the full game. And they just went through a whole bunch of other stuff. So charity games won't be included, but it's on the developer to tell Unity that it's going to be part of a charity thing. So I'm sure that's going to get fucked up. Game Pass would not be on the hook as the fees are charged to the distributors. So there's say Game Pass is going to charge all of Unity fees to Microsoft. Like, good luck having Microsoft not fight against that. And they're not installed for game demos unless it's part of the full thing, like I already said. Okay. And they're saying, of note, that this Witten guy from Unity says that only about 10% of the developers will wind up having to pay any fees given the thresholds that games need to hit. Which makes sense. If you look on any game store, there are hundreds and hundreds of games that hit the stores every single month. So there's only so much money and so much room in the world for people and time to play through these games. But yeah, I can see this being a thing that any developer out there would go, what? Fuck you. I'm not using Unity now.
That's where my mind goes. I'm okay with it and I'm not okay with it, right? Like, so there's a big threshold here of you need to hit 200,000 downloads and earn 200K in revenue. Not in... So that's your revenue before you get hit with the 20 cents per installation, which I don't know sales figures for games, but to hit 200K in revenue, I don't know, pretty decent. And like, if you're one of these $5 games, that's a lot of goddamn games sold. So you might never hit it. What I was actually interested in is, like, right now, I didn't realize that Unity still technically is free, except for if your company has revenue or funds more than 100K, then you need to go into a subscription service for that.
Is that what it is? Okay, because I don't know any, like, the back end for Unity and development.
So that's what I was trying to figure out. Like, well, what is that price like? And I didn't find the specifics of what, once you hit that tier, what your subscription price is. So yeah, the cost per installation, that's obviously ridiculous. If there's some way it can be cheesed where it's like, you should probably just be charging it once per game. Like, let's just say that. Like, the cost of using Unity. And once again, they're saying that's if you use the free version at a threshold. I don't think that's unreasonable. It's like,
I mean, there's still going to be a threshold if you pay for the real version, though, too.
Yes,
they didn't say what it is yet. But
yeah, we don't know what it is, which is kind of like, we're giving you the blueprint of one of the most modifiable engines in the world. So, yeah, your game exists because we exist. So there is a give and take there, right? Like, I don't know what the when I hear 20 cents per install, I'm like, that doesn't sound like much. And then, yeah, if you are assuming it's a mega success, then yeah, it does add up quickly. My question is, fine, people can say fuck Unity. What else are you going to use? I don't know what the other engines out there are, but I'm presuming, like you are, this is the biggest one. This is like people who bitch about Apple, but what are you going to go to, fucking Android? No, you're going to use Apple. So it's like the same argument all over again. Should Unity be able to say, like, we want to be paid a certain amount because you're using the thing that allowed you to have the most sales, whatever the case is? That's the same way I feel when Adobe Premiere and all these other things went from you could just buy their product to it's now a monthly subscription.
Yeah.
Like, that sucks. I'm not happy about that, especially as someone who's more casual with the shit. But I get it. It's like, for all the things Adobe offers, like, what are you going to not use Adobe? Like, you're going to try to do all the back alley shit? Like, so this is say
right,
what you
it's
want.
Sony Vegas.
It's capitalism, Jim. Love it or hate it. And if the market, just like with Bud Light, doesn't like this, say it with your wallet. Developers, don't use Unity. Take away from their revenue stream.
Oh yeah, if I was a small-time developer, I'd tell Unity to go fuck itself at this point. Because, like, God forbid you finally have that hit and all of a sudden 20% of your profit has to go back to fucking the developer. Like, or not the developer, but the engine that you used. Like, I have no problem if they had, like, say, like, you paid $5,000 and you have, like, a lifetime license or some shit like that to use it. Like,
yeah.
Is $5,000 a lot to hit to take it once? Yeah, but you're investing in yourself in the future, and if there's enough of these developers out there doing it, I'm sure they're going to be fine money-wise. But, I mean, this is me not knowing anything about the pricing cycle for any of this shit at all, so...
But that's where you can get into the argument.
I think they just went like any other fucking company. They went, everyone's using us. We could be making so much more. That's probably all it came down to.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, just like taxes, you figure it's a sliding scale, right? Like, if you have someone like our buddies Retro Room who decide I want to use Unity, you guys pay us $5,000, versus Activision, you make what you make, pay us $5,000. No, they shouldn't both pay the same amount. Like there should be a delta there, and I think this is their way with those caveats to create it. Of course, I think it's like most ideas. At first, it's like there will be some polished version of this. I don't know what that threshold is. Somehow they thought 200,000 downloads or 200,000 in revenue was a good enough number. I don't know. What does a small company, development company, actually make? Maybe that is actually not that bad, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't. That's why I said I don't hate it. I think it sucks for small developers, but if there are plenty of other options out there, then use the other options. I just know that it seems like Unity would be the thing that you could probably easily piece together mods that people have already built and save yourself tons of time. But if you're trying to do it the easy way, then
I have a feeling this is gonna be like another one of those things, kind of like along the lines of like when Nintendo started to charge for online after having to be free, where everyone hates it and they all bitch about it, but they still want it, so they're just gonna do it and nothing ever happens.
Just like Adobe. Everyone hated that model, but guess what? Everyone still pays for it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ted DiBiase always told us, everyone's got a price.
All right, Bri, here's what we got to do. We have to talk Unity into sending a special development package to a trans person. And then, boom, dunzo.
But make sure
they'll be begging developers to come back.
Make sure it's one of the most hated people out there. And there you go.
Someone that even a lot of their own community doesn't even like. Yeah, we'll do that.
Perfect. What if they actually did send it to what's the person's name?
Dylan Mulvaney.
Yeah. That would be kind of hilarious. I'm on Twitch, or not Twitch. I'm looking at the next article. I'm on Unity now. All of a sudden, why is Bill Gates buying Unity? What the fuck?
Right, call me crazy. Call me crazy here. You can call me conspiracy. Call me Alex Jones. I don't think too many people are going to be going to Dylan anytime soon. Brave statement, I know. Brave prediction.
I mean, if I was a business manager, I wouldn't. If I wanted to make money, I wouldn't. I don't know.
Right.
Tell me, Jim.
We're going to log into Twitter tomorrow. All of a sudden, she's going to be wearing a tap out shirt.
For TKO?
Yeah, TKO. Fucking talk about the most random goddamn merger of all time.
It's random in the nature of like why. It almost makes sense those two have now consolidated as like the two biggest in that
other fields. Yeah,
but I don't know. Hell of a big deal.
It'll be interesting to see how it goes for both products going forward.
So now they're just going to cross. So basically, when you're watching WWE, you'll probably see a lot of shit for UFC and vice versa. All of a sudden, you'll start seeing more like WWE stars in the crowd and UFC stars in the crowd. And then I'm sure there will be the easy crossover is for UFC guys to come over, do a hit in the WWE.
Oh, yeah.
Make a thing. But I don't think you'll see as much unless there is a number of WWE guys that like are fine going one-on-one against each other in real fighting. That would be interesting.
Oh, bringing back the Brawl for All, baby.
Well, exactly. Or like now, maybe you really put Matt Riddle and what's his face, Seth Rollins into a real fight. I don't know.
Man,
we know how that would go.
Matt Riddle pisses off everyone he winds up working for. That guy's a fucking...
Oh, he was an idiot back. I mean, yeah, he's a legit fighter, but he's a fucking idiot, and no one liked him. He was just a fucking idiot. So
yeah, he is a dipshit. It's amazing. Like, and he gets pushes in everywhere he goes because he is likable, but then he does a bunch of stupid shit. Then you're like, he's not worth the effort.
Exactly.
I could see right. We know that Dana White isn't opposed to having a freak show coming and to get some quick hits on a pay-per-view. So he'll bring in some WWE guys to do fights. I mean, Bobby Lashley's done some MMA before, so they'll put him on some undercard fight. Brock will, they'll throw Brock back in.
I mean, yeah, just give Brock somebody that he can maul to make him keep looking like the monster that he is. That's it. Do that, because I think they're seeing the freak shows that are going on with the boxing shit now, with the
YouTuber
Paul
boxing
brothers and all that. It's like they're probably like, all right, maybe we could do something with some of these wrestlers, or somehow have the cross promotion.
Yeah, because I think UFC has kind of hit a peak where they don't have the big name stars now that they had, say, 10 years ago, at all.
They need somebody so bad.
Yeah, they have had no star power for at least 5-6 years.
They're still riding on Conor, and they shouldn't be at this. He's not anything that he was. They literally they're trying, I think, to hitch their wagon onto this weird fucking Sean Strickland and that situation right now, because he's just a weird personality. But that's not gonna last. Yeah, they need someone to come back and be that fucking dominant, holy hell champion.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back, it's kind of crazy how this weird it's almost pure parody in UFC right now, where no one stands out. Where back in the day, you had like Silva and GSP and shit like that.
Yeah, you had the stars when Ronda was there running it for a little while. Like you had the moments of all these guys.
There is so much revisionist history around Ronda, where everyone's like, "Oh, she was never that good in the first place," and even in the WWE side, it's like, "Oh, she wasn't that big of a deal when she came in." It's like, motherfucker.
It was the biggest deal. Yeah, like yeah. That
say what you want about
history.
her, but she was the best woman fighter in that thing at the time. Yeah, she fucking dodged Cyborg, but whatever. But
well, Cyborg, who's fucking sneezing out steroids.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, yeah, I would have dodged her too.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, you're talking about a legit Olympic gold medalist who won in every major thing, then came to UFC, dominated for whatever 10 fights.
Right, and then was a huge crossover star. Like, hey, guess what? Yeah. Women aren't headlining WrestleMania if Ronda wasn't involved. All right, deal with it.
Exactly. So, but yeah, no, I think the funniest thing about the TKO thing and the timing of Punk getting fired is, while it would be a huge pop to have him come back, I don't think he's ever coming back to either of those. So he's really just left in a lurch, which I love because he's a dick too. He's overrated to shit. I've never liked him. Sorry, CM Punk fans. He's not the best in the world.
He can talk he can talk people into the building.
Who cares?
I love
that doesn't mean shit. You got to be a performer too.
He's good in the ring. He's fine.
So give him a podcast. If he wants to talk, give him a podcast.
You know what?
You need to perform.
You know what he should be at this point? He should just be an announcer.
Or literally get a podcast.
Oh yeah, if he had a podcast, that'll blow up just for himself. But yeah.
Yeah. But Chambers, speaking of getting yourself in trouble, your buddy Bobby Big Balls,
my boy, we go out on Fridays.
Who I'll be honest, I did not know this guy, but I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the picture of him, I didn't have my glasses on.
The most punchable face I've ever seen.
Well, I was gonna say he looks like he could be your brother. You and him have a lot of similarities with the facial hair, the glasses. When you let your hair go long a few times, it did that weird little curl that it does in this picture of him.
Yes, it did.
So I'm saying, with those pieces, without my glasses being on, I could see that and go, "Oh, Jim, you were like, you know."
Maybe once again, that's part of the reason I kind of hate him even more than I should, just because I see a lot of myself in him, and I hate myself, Brian.
But what did Bobby Big Balls do, Jim?
Well, Brian, speaking of seeing myself in him, this guy, he made a little bit of an oopsie, Brian. He made a oopsie whoopsie daisy. And what he decided to do was he did a little drinky and drivey while streaming. So, long story short, he's a Smash Pro, which, you know, we know what that means, pedophile. And he was doing some IRL streaming, I guess, because God forbid any of these streamers not put themselves on camera 24/7. So he went to where he lives. You can go to 7-Eleven and buy booze. So he went to 7-Eleven, bought a bottle of wine, and apparently he only lived 3 minutes from home, but he just couldn't start driving, Brian, without one sip of sweet nectar, sweet lady alcohol. Exact quote: "Surely one singular sip of my 12% wine on my 3-minute drive home from 7-Eleven doesn't classify as drunk driving," he said. "As a streamer, I'm wrong and I will take responsibility for my actions. If the community wants to ban me, I will humbly oblige. I am not a role model. Please don't accept my internet personality as such."
The guys, okay.
And they have clips of the video of him doing it, and he's talking like he just has that annoying cadence to him.
Oh no, he's terribly annoying. Like you said, punchable face. I don't like him. I also like.
He's like, "Yo, dog, this should be fire. We're going to get turned up in this car and to drive home." It's like, shut the fuck up.
I also, here's the only thing if you play devil's advocate, if this was any other streamer, all of a sudden it would be, well, my past trauma, and I was a victim of this, and I'm going through this, and and I'm so sorry.
I've been experiencing alcoholism in my family.
And I have mental, like, it would be every problem, woe is me.
I'm neurodivergent and a minor.
Yeah, damn it. So, just the only thing, without knowing one iota of who this person is, I just go, at least he's not doing that angle. Like, which you see every time these assholes do this shit. So I'm like, he's a fucking idiot. Why you would stream yourself doing that? let's be honest. I don't think there's a person we know who didn't drink and drive. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'll say this. That's crazy shit to just drink right before you drive. There's a difference between taking a few snifters at your house and then going out and driving versus sitting in the car and doing it. That's some really dumb shit. But to stream it on top of it, I don't know what he thought would happen. It says from the article he's one of like the most well-known whatever, but I see he's only like got 9,000 followers on Twitter. So like my thinking was he only streaming to like 2 people?
I mean,
like,
that doesn't always cross over like Twitter followers to like online presence.
No, and I'm not saying, I'm just saying like without any context to this guy, I'm kind of like, well, was he streaming to only a few people? Didn't think it would be a big deal? Like, he's a dumbass. Who cares? It's a guy that's gone that how many people are actually going to miss him? This is his moment to this is his shining moment, if anything.
So yeah, there's Twitter threads on here where some guy, Josh Frederick, was like, BBB streamed himself drinking and driving last night. Simply astonishing. Get this dude out of our community. If you're talking about the Smash community, you should get everyone out of that community. But he did his whole, my sip of my 3-minute drive didn't classify. I stream to make people smile through entertainment. I am not meant to be a beacon of moral values, and I am just me. Drinking is a way I cope with life. You're welcome to judge me with this. Just my truth, not an excuse. Thank you to anyone who still supports me. You know what? If you say this is my truth, I just hate you. I don't know anything about you, but now you're annoying and I hate you and I don't care what happens to you.
That makes me think of that song. This is my fight song.
Oh God, that would be beautiful. Edit that in, Brian.
Yeah. No, it's terribly foolish. Who cares? Who's gonna miss them? It's one of those deals where kids don't ever do that. Even if this is someone you see this as a thing of like it's a way to get famous, don't take it. Don't be drinking while you're actively in a car and then driving somewhere and thinking it's funny. It will not end up well for you.
And use your head, people. If you're going to drink and drive, don't stream it. Do it like a normal person and just not do it on the internet. And when you get home, go, whoop, got away with that one.
Yeah. Be like, I don't know how I got here, but I'm happy I'm here. Car's in good condition.
So when I saw these like threads going down when it happened, I was like, you can be like a little easy quote tweet dunk. And I was like, wait, I am the last person in the world to talk about fucking to moral ground anybody about drinking and driving in your 20s. So, not something I'm proud of, but I got to be honest with who I am.
Yeah, same. I make no. There's no excuse. You know what? If I throw an excuse out there, if we fucking had Uber and these services that kids have these days.
Oh, you're right. We're the victim. We didn't have Uber. We're the victim. Thank you, Brian. I'm going to tweet this motherfucker right now.
But yeah, no. Just incredibly stupid. So, kids, drink, but don't drive.
Look, let's put it out here. One sip isn't going to be a big deal or make you too impaired to drive home.
No.
But it's the thing where it's like, come on, you fucking idiot. Like, what are you doing?
It's the act of it. It's like people who are like these fucking prankster idiots who are like, I'm going to go destroy public property. Let's see what happens. And then they get charges against them or they get arrested. And they're like, I'm shocked. It's like, don't be that asshole. You know what you should and shouldn't do. Like, it'd be the same way as if you were actively filming yourself speeding. And then, yeah, you can get ticketed for that. Like, people are shocked. I was only going 150 miles an hour, no one on the road. Yeah, but you filmed it, and now we know. Don't do that. Don't do that.
It's weird with this generation, man. Like, I mean, I'm online.
I'm
online more than anybody should, healthily. And even I am nothing compared to so many of these people who have to put every single facet of their everyday life on there.
Well, think about it, Jim. I mean, these kids literally, from the moment they were born, had an online presence. And this life is like it's cooked into their very, like, you're not existing if you're not online. And that's something that you and I might not be able to wrap our heads around, but like, that's the truth. Like, that is the thing.
But Brian, Twitter likes my only dopamine.
Damn it, Jim. Well, that's because you can't get wins in Tetris 99.
Sure can't. Gotta get my wins where I can.
If you were winning Tetris 99, you know, and Jim, let's be respectful. Your ex likes.
Oh, true. Very true.
By the way, I did notice in some of these articles you wrote me, they've now dropped the X, you know.
X is the hyperlink domain, yeah.
Yeah, like they don't even refer to it as Twitter anymore. They're just calling it X.
Which is such a fucking pain in the dick, because like now that we have like a Discord and like, you know, actually active on it and shit like that. Like before, if you wanted to like embed a video, you had to write like VX before Twitter to do it. But if you do VXX, it doesn't fucking work. But if you still write VX Twitter, it still fucking works because it still goes back there. Because even Elon knows if you just took Twitter out of like any of these hyperlinks, you'd fuck yourself. So it's so stupid.
I wonder how long it's going to take before Twitter it's no longer part of it. Like there will come a point where it is just X. And then people will be like, well, it used to be called Twitter. People are like, oh, okay.
It's not like anything else, what, 5 years?
Yeah, that's probably a good timetable. But yeah, Chambers, when you do finally decide to beat Tetris 99, don't film yourself drinking and driving to go explode your Switch.
Right. That's going to be my glorious return to streaming. It's been a long, long time.
Chambers, how did that beer finally settle for you? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
You know what? This is another one of those ones I think that are better when they're a little bit like not lukewarm, but not as cold. Yeah. I think as like the temperature dissipates a little bit, like the flavors kind of gel together a little bit more. It could be the 9% alcohol kicking in too after 2 of these, but yeah, it's still like not a favorite, but it's way more drinkable now than it was when I was first starting. Because the first couple sips, I was like, man, I do not like this at all. But, you know, now I'm like, it's all right. I would never buy it again. And it's, you know what? It's fucking expensive, too. It was like $17 for a 4-pack. So, yeah, I kind of feel a little cornholed by that. But I tried it. It's whatever. It's drink it lukewarm. It's fine. But it's not one you're ever going to go back to.
Yeah. And of the Elysian mixed pumpkin pack, this is probably my least favorite. Not because it's not good, it's just the other ones are just so much better. So this one, like I said, I didn't get a ton of the coffee flavor. It actually felt like a more muted down pumpkin, but somehow more spicy. I know it makes no sense. Of the ones I've had, like I said, this one was my least favorite. Still fine. If this is all that's available, give it a try. But yeah, no, I'm just happy pumpkin season's back, Jim.
Yep, we're back, baby!
So with that, guys, we want to say thank you all so much for watching. Please make sure you hit the subscription notification bell below so you can see when we post any new videos. And if you're listening to us on iTunes or Spotify, please give us a 5-star rating. Even if you want to bash us, we will read the comments on each and every one of these Power Hour podcasts. With that, we want to say have a good night, everyone, and cheers.
Cheers, everybody.